Faust, as you know, is the story of a man who sells his soul to the devil in exchange for knowledge of science. The story is really about the question of whether science can replace religion as an ethical basis for man. And Goethe's poem is multi-layered. But in the first scene that is performed in The King of Thule, the devil and Faust have formed their agreement and are now scheming to get the love of Margaret, the woman. And so the devil gets some jewels, and Faust, and they hide the jewels, and then Margaret discovers them. In Gounod's opera, at this point, she goes off and is really excited about the jewels. But in the Goethe story, she's depressed when she sees them because it just reminds her that she's poor, and she knows that these aren't her jewels. And so the devil's plan failed, basically. And it's the first example in the story of Faust where, although the devil promised to do what Faust asked him, he doesn't. He doesn't succeed. So a good lawyer would have been able to get Faust off, I think, on that basis. So this is just the beginning where they scheme to put the jewels in her closet. She finds them. She freaks out. She rejects them. The devil gets really upset. And then I think a little later in the story, the devil gets stumped by the fact that somebody falls in love, although I didn't read the thing clearly enough to know who's in love with who. I think the devil fell in love, and but has no one to appeal to because he's the devil. A little sideline on the story of this work, The King in Thule. And in The King of Thule is a little folk song that Margaret sings in the middle of this segment of the Faust poem. And it's done by her, and then later, or soon after maybe, it's also sung by a chorus in a different melody. And the King of Thule is a guy who receives a golden cup from his dying mistress, who he loves, and who he's always been faithful to. And when she dies, he really likes this golden cup. And when he dies, he doesn't want that. He wants that to be the only thing that's not buried with him. And I think this little folk song is related to Christ having a cup and gifts of love. And there's something sort of, organically, imperceptibly thoughtful about this little story in the middle of the larger story. At any rate, it's scored for horns when Faust and Mephisto are singing, and for flutes when Margaret is singing. There's not a whole lot of choral stuff, although there's a chorus backup. And we'll see how it goes.